That is so cool. Welcome back to Spearfishing Down Under. Today is my wife and I, my very favourite boatie, heading out for 2 days of spearfishing and just hanging out together. We kicked off, jumped in the boat, and we headed out first thing in the morning after a short nap that night because I got back late from the trip before. If you want to see that, click here. You can see that from last week as well, where we shot some other nice fish. But I thought, on the way to the place we're going to camp, let me just jump in the water in a couple of my cool spots. First spot I jumped in on, oh my goodness, there was a big tusky in the shallows, there was parrots. I'd already shot a lot of fish the preceding days, so I let them all swim off. Really cool fish to see though, very first dive of the day. Before I got to do another dive, a really cool sea snake swam up to me. Now this is one that I've not really seen a lot before, and if you know what type of sea snake this is, we'd love you to comment and let us know what it is. It's actually really cool, really small, very thin one. Most of the sea snakes I've seen are really a lot bigger. My editor, Zach, is asking, am I ever scared when I see a sea snake like this? Honestly not. They are really inquisitive animals. If you are scared of sea snakes, let me just say, I heard they can't bite. Their fangs aren't big enough to cut through and pierce your skin, so it's not a marine creature you have to be scared of. I was trying to make this a really quick stopover and I was heading back towards the boat, and as I actually saw another really nice tusky. This one was even bigger than one I've seen beforehand. This one I couldn't help myself. I quickly just pulled the gun out, turned the camera on, and shot that tusky as it came up underneath me. This is a really cool fish, 6 to 7 kilos. For this North Queensland area, a really good fish. I was knifing that tusky and getting ready to swim back to the boat, and I noticed a mating pair of crabs swim past me. This is not a thing that you see often when you're swimming around spearfishing, and it was pretty cool to see. They just run past the mating pair of crabs. Wendy and I headed to the place that we're gonna stay, and we dropped off the eskies, we dropped off some fuel, and we dropped off our swags, and we thought that I'll just go and do a little bit more diving that day, and the following day we're just gonna hang out together. The tide was perfect for an area that I've shot mackerel in the past, so we shot there really quickly, and I jumped in the water, and very first drift, I was heading along, I noticed a mackerel from the surface swim under me. I quickly dove down, come down on quite a large school, and trying to pick the biggest mackerel is tough in these scenarios. Water wasn't perfectly clear, a little bit dusty. And I changed fish about 3 or 4 times. Finally picked the mackerel that I wanted to shoot, and I nailed myself a really nice mac.
Thank you. Started a vacation with my beautiful wife. Mackerel. Nice fat winter mackie.
From there, we headed to just a shallower area where Wendy was pretty keen to sit and read her book, so I dropped the anchor and I just swum around some really shallow area. First dive, I was swimming along the bottom and I noticed a nice cod, a couple of small finger mark. These weren't the fish that I was after, so I just held off and just filmed them. Really cool fish. Swum around the other side of the rock, and I noticed the water was actually a fair bit clearer than I was expecting. Unfortunately, I only had my really small roller gun with me, and I started creeping through that rock, and as I was creeping along, I noticed there was a really cool school of finger mark in front of me. Now, trying to pick a bigger one out of that school was awesome. Really clear water, crept up, they just opened up, peeled up. I saw one that was a bit bigger, aimed up, pulled the trigger, and yes, I'm human, I missed. This time, I never even smacked my gun on the ground. I headed back behind the rock and I reloaded my gun, and I was trying to just be quiet, hopefully thinking that that finger mark school might just settle. A little bit of current running into the front of this reef, so I hit the bottom, crept forward again. As I crept up to that edge of the reef, I noticed out from behind the edge of the reef came a really good finger mark. I was a bit nervous after missing the shot before on my little roller. This time, he gave me a great shot. I shot him right in the face.
Beautiful finger mark. You, best boatie in the world. Put me onto the fish. Thanks, baby doll.
Again, headed back to the surface. Wendy was sitting in the boat reading, so I quickly just chucked the fish in the boat, and I came back to that spot. As I was reloading, I noticed a couple of finger marks just swam into a bowl behind me and just sat there. Now, I was reloading, trying to be quiet, got the gun ready, and as I went to dive, they just sat totally still, and on the way down, I just lined up, stoned myself another really cool finger mark. Couldn't believe my luck. Started off with a nice tusky, now a couple of finger mark, to cap off what had already been a couple of really cool days. I decided, you know what, I've already shot lots of fish. I just want to move my focus to see if I could find another barra. I was creeping along the bottom, trying to get in position to dive on one of my favourite barra spots, and as I was creeping along the bottom in quite shallow water, I noticed a really nice flathead. Now, I shot lots of fish, didn't want to shoot this flathead, but they are such a cool fish, and to watch how well they camouflage in the bottom is just incredible to see. I finally got to the area I wanted to hunt. Wendy was off a little ways in the boat, and I dove around a really shallow patch of rocks. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough weight on, and being the fact I was only in 1-2 meters of water, I kept on floating up near the surface, and awkwardly I swim around bumping into rocks, a little bit of swell in this spot, and I feeling like a noob Spearo, just having a shocker. Swum around the rocks, didn't see the barra I wanted to see, and I just hit the surface. I was a bit frustrated with myself not putting enough weight on before I went to this spot. And I look up, from the surface, I see a barra sitting next to a rock. Quickly put my gun in position and shoot that fish as it's about to take off. Unbelievably, I shot myself this barra from the surface without even diving, and that thing took off. I could tell the spear hadn't toggled right. Chased that thing through the water, pinned it to the bottom, and I was pumped to get my knife in its head and land myself a cool barra, diving with my beautiful wife, my favourite boatie.
You! Oh, baby doll. You! Nice little salty. That is so cool. Oh, I didn't put enough weight on. I was struggling in the shallows. And I've come to the surface. I'm like, oh, there's no barra. Next thing, and the thing was right there. I shot it from the surface. Oh! He smoked me. The spear didn't toggle the right. It just hit him in there, come out there, but it didn't toggle.
Her and I high-fived, stoked together, and for me, that just capped off a couple of awesome hours diving, my wife driving the boat, and the rest of our trip was spent just bushwalking, hanging together, because I shot myself some great fish. Now, I headed home, and lots of filleting to do, no doubt about it. Fruits of a trip up north. Nice barra, beautiful trout, finger mark. Oh, largie, beautiful animal, and big tusky. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Some of the yummiest fish in the ocean right there. Next week, guess what? We're out in my boat. Me and Jones go locally here, take my boat for its very first run with a brand new motor on it. Can't wait to show you that. We had an amazing time. Pretty wild, sharks, awesome fish. It's gonna be an absolutely incredible one. Now, for those of you again that are trying to buy some of our raft gear, remember, jump into Adreno. Tim Spear, online, in-store, get your raft gear 10% discount, and you can go and help yourself to that. That will be awesome. We've got some other great sponsors. Divar helped us out a lot. Thank you, Divar, for all that you do. Yeah, I want to thank the guys down at JSW as well for helping us out with the jet ski. Keep your eyes out for some great jet ski adventures coming up as well. Thank you everyone for liking. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for those that have been coming on the adventure with us over the last 18 months. I hope you've learned a lot, and I hope we're inspiring you. Get out in the water, go shoot some fish.